Hi, this is Robin with Creative2xmom, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my winter reading list. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and this is Creative2xmom. This channel is all about homeschooling, parenthood, and thriving in the day-to-day. And in the case of today's video, some really good books. I've got a stack here of the books that I am going to be reading throughout the winter season, plus a few that I don't even have here because they're either on my Kindle or I need to pick them up from the library. I utilize my library system a lot. So sometimes when I share videos, I don't quite have them physically in front of me to show you. But I thought I would share with you what I'm going to be reading throughout this next winter season. If you're interested in what I read on my fall reading list, I will link that video down below. I tried to put my books in some sort of category and I tried to keep it to around 10. So the season will be about 12 weeks, but then that gives me room to play with any review books that might happen to come up that have a deadline. So let's start with the homeschooling category. And I shared in my fall reading list that I wanted to be reading more educational philosophy, that sort of thing. I do a lot of that in the summer, but I'm trying to carry that throughout the year this year just to see how it goes. So the first book I have, I've already started this one. This is Inside American Education. This was on the fall reading list. I just didn't finish it. It's by Thomas Sowell. I will say it is very eye-opening so far. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. Wow. Crazy. This was actually a recommendation, I think by Candace Owens was the one that recommended this one, and I started reading it. So I'm hoping to have this one done at the end of January so I can share more with you, but really there's just almost no words for this book. Super crazy. The other book I have on my list in the homeschool department is The Enchanted Hours. This is by Megan Cox Gurdon. I don't know if I will read all of this because I'm already so sold on the read aloud philosophy, but this is one that was recommended if you're kind of sitting on the fence about reading aloud, how to read aloud, what it does for your kids, to check out this book. So I'm going to give it a shot and see if there's anything new I can glean from this one to share with you guys. In the same category for homeschooling, I have The Brave Learner by Julie Bogart. This is a reread for me. Having a kid in the elementary years, I'm always looking for new and fun ways to convey information, new and fun ideas to add to our homeschool day. I read this one, I don't know if I actually made it all the way through in this one before because it is so opposite of the way that I teach that I sometimes get bogged down in it. So I'm giving it another shot. I think it's really excellent. It just messes with my brain a lot. And the last book I have in the homeschool category is, I think it's called How to Homeschool 9th and 10th Grades. I've heard this is a very short book, and so I'm throwing it in here as well to get through it. I have my daughter going into the 9th grade in the fall, and I've never homeschooled high school. So I'm looking for some perspective, some voices in those high school years to speak to what's different and what stays the same, because right now my brain is spinning with details and I'm looking for just sort of a guiding light. If you have any suggestions for books, podcasts, classes, and how to teach high school, let me know in the comments down below because I am feeling super overwhelmed. The next two books are in the parenting category, and the first one should come as no surprise. It is Love and Respect in the Family. This is by Dr. Emerson Egertz. I've read this one several Januaries in a row, and then I think it was like October that I started thinking, I didn't read that this year, and I could really use some of those helpful insights, some of those helpful guiding posts. This is a very good book, especially if you are parenting older children, and that's where I stumbled on this and I thought I can really use a refresher on that book. The second one is Raising Successful Teens by Jeffrey Dean. This was originally a review book, and I was so blessed by reading this one that I'm so thankful that I got on the review team for this book. I will leave my original review down below. It's been a couple of years since I read it, and now that I have 2 in the teen years, I think it's definitely time to review. I have just a couple of fictional reads, and they are both probably, I would say, middle grade reads. They are coming off of a review site that I will be reviewing for you. And the first one is Far to Go. Now, back in the fall, I read a book called Thursday's Child by Noelle Streatfeild, and it left me on a cliffhanger, so I was really hoping there would be a sequel to that book, and Far to Go is the sequel to that book. I'm really excited to read this one because it was written in sort of a classical feel, very rich, very engaging, and so I'm excited to read the second one in that series. The other book that I'm reading in the fiction arena is North Wind, and this is by Gary Paulsen. Gary Paulsen is very well known for his adventure books like Hatchet, Brian's Winter. I know there are others. There's a whole series that goes in there. He is a little bit off from what I typically read, but I do love the adventure genre. I'm trying to decide. There's some of his books that really engage me and some that don't. So we will see with North Wind kind of what the final outcome is. And then as far as what we're reading with the kids in this winter season, we have already started The Wind and the Willows. I took a children's literature class over the summer, and Wind and the Willows was the first time that I had read this book, and I thought, well, before my kids get any older, I want to go through this one with them. It's been a little bit under my 8th graders interest level, I guess you would say, and yet I'm trying to get her to find the joy and the silliness in Toad. That's where she's kind of like, ugh, can we get beyond Toad? But I'm trying to get her to jump into the lightheartedness of this book. After that, we are going to pick up Treasure Island. This was another one that was in that children's literature class. I did not read this one at the time of the class, and it's a little bit longer than I thought it was going to be. It's 34 chapters, so it will take us just over a month, maybe 5 or 6 weeks. So Treasure Island. And then the final book that we're going to read with the kids is a book called Loyalty by Avi. Avi is a new to me author. He's been around for a very long time. Was not someone that really grabbed my attention until we reviewed Gold Rush Girl. We were able to review that book. I don't remember if it was 2019 or 2020, and that book grabbed us. I read it to review it. I read it with the kids, and then my daughter read it, and I think my son may have even read it after that. We could not put that book down. We were constantly sitting down and saying just one more chapter. So I'm excited to read Loyalty. It's coming out in the next couple of months. We get to review it. It's an advanced copy, and I think that our experience with Gold Rush Girl tells me that we will probably love this one as well. I'm excited to jump into it. We may jump into it before Treasure Island. So those are the books that we're going to be reading throughout the winter season. Leave me a comment down below and let me know, or is there anything that I should add to my list? Because I tried to leave myself a little bit of room in there. Or is there anything that I should add on in the spring semester? And of course, I have an 8th grader and a 5th grader. So if you have any suggestions for read alouds or books that you think they might enjoy, let me know. They're both avid readers and I can hardly keep up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time. Bye guys.